Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about key strategies for opening your Weighless MD practice. My name is Sherry Stoka, and I'm owner and founder of Weighless MD, and I'm excited to bring this presentation to you as you go through the process of getting your franchise up and running. So just a little bit about our history. So the inception of Weighless MD was in 2014. When we were a couple years in 2016, and this is ongoing, we really started creating protocols, really turnkey solutions, so that we could create an environment that was consistent, so we could, execute our programs efficiently, effectively. We could train new people. And so what you will see a little bit about today is these protocols, but this is our bread and butter as it relates to making sure that we're all consistent in our delivery. In 2019, I actually created a business called Weighless MD Pro. And basically what that was selling our weight loss programs and services to other businesses. So similar to the franchise, but this was on a different level. And so once I launched that in 2020, that's when COVID hit. Things kind of went, kind of stopped. It stalled for a while. It allowed me to really take some time to think about where I wanted to go with Weighless MD. And that is when I started to think about possible franchising. And, things happen for a reason. I ended up talking to the right person that really excited me about this opportunity. So in 2022, Weighless MD became a franchise. So here we are today. So again, I welcome you and look forward to our journey together. So today we're going to talk about a few things. So we're going to talk about credentialing and licensure necessities, how to pick a location if you do not have a location already. You may be listening to this and you might be utilizing our add-on model where you would already have a location. So this is for someone who actually is looking for the brick and mortar clinic. I'm going to talk a little bit about necessary infrastructure, how to set up payment systems, essential forms and resources that you'll need, and just some marketing get started tips. So our Weighless MD model or organizational chart is pretty simple. So we typically have 3 people on site when we're, every day when we're open. So that includes a physician assistant or nurse practitioner. So it has to be one or the other. You have either a registered dietitian or a nutritionist, and then you would have like an admin or a receptionist. You will need a supervising or collaborating physician in most states. So depending on where you are, you might want to double check on that. And that's basically somebody who, the NP or PA is collaborating or working under, and will obviously help you through that process. I would definitely contact your state nursing department to find out any safety and professional services, laws, regulations, basically meaning, what rights do nurse practitioners have in your state? Because some can act independently, but some do require a supervising physician. So again, just making sure you're looking into that or reaching out to a local college where they can answer those questions for you. Any MD can be a supervising physician as long as they are licensed in the state. You can look for, supervising physicians on LinkedIn, Indeed, just like you would when you're hiring any type of personnel. But we also work with a company called Doctors for Providers. And this is the best option because they're going to basically help you coordinate that from beginning to end as you begin to open up your franchise. So your supervising or collaborating physician will be signing an agreement that is provided by us at Weighless MD. The Weighless MD franchise owner must have specific scopes of practice on site and signed by both parties. So we're basically laying out what we're going to be performing at the clinic and, day-to-day business responsibilities. And we want to obviously make sure that the collaborating physician understands everything that we're going to be doing. The collaborating physician must have access to your EHR, and it is expected that they do regular audits. And we, again, can talk more about what that looks like. They are not required to be on site. They are more of that supervising personnel, but we definitely need to keep constant communication with them, and we want to keep them informed and go to them for, specific situations that may come up that we are unsure about, if we're moving forward with some type of program with somebody. So when we work with our supervising physician, the first 3 years, we had quarterly meetings with the team. So it really kept us on the same page. He fully understood everything was what we were doing, and he got to meet everybody. So there's a level of comfort and a relationship that you build by really knowing who your supervising physician is. So then as time goes on, everybody gets into the groove of things, and you probably wouldn't need those quarterly meetings. So that really is going to be up to you and really what works best for your practice. Some important legal certifications. So as you're hiring, obviously you want to make sure that the employees have specific licenses and certifications. You will need to get your state and federal licenses, which I'll talk a little bit more about. You'll need malpractice insurance certificates, a local business license, obviously. You will need a DEA license if you are going to dispense phentermine. Phentermine is considered it's a scheduled, believe it or not. So you will need a DEA license for each location that you start up. So along with that, your practitioners will also need a DEA license. And most practitioners have an MPI. This is not mandatory, but again, sometimes it is needed, and most practitioners already have it. Certificates and licenses. So the location must be determined early on, because basically you need an address to register the business. The next thing you're going to want to start to think about is who is going to be on your team. Determine your model. There are some people that choose to use our weight loss programs and keep it non-medical, which is totally fine. That's more for like the gyms and things like that. But for most people, they will be going the medical route, where you would need, again, a prescribing practitioner and a supervising physician. You will then set up your Weighless MD LLC and start determining the necessary insurance. So professional liability, your business insurance, business protection, that type of thing. So there are a number of things that kind of, as you go through this process, will all come together, because it kind of works out where, as you go along the spectrum, they're going to ask you for certain things. And if you don't have it, you can't really move along the spectrum. So it's really hard to miss something along the way. After you register the business, you're going to apply for an employer identification number with the state and a federal employer identification number with the federal government. And this is just a note about the National Provider Identifier, the NPI. So this is a Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act administrative standard. So this is a unique identification number for healthcare providers, and it really just designates your specialty, and it is necessary if you're going to bill insurance. We at Weighless MD are not contracted, nor do we plan to contract with any insurance companies to accept certain insurances. We are a cash business, but that doesn't mean that people can't use and get reimbursed for with their insurance by using our programs and services. It just means that we don't take that on and work directly with their insurance company. They would do that. We just provide them with all of the necessary documentation. So something to think about, because that is a common question typically early on. A DEA licensed drug enforcement agency is a certificate that authorizes prescription of controlled substances. It's not necessary for prescribers who don't use controlled substances. Drugs are categorized by certain schedules, and the schedule will dictate certain prescribing rights. So again, phentermine that we use is considered a controlled substance. The DEA license every three years is $888. That was the last, that is what I paid last time in the state of Wisconsin. So it may be different in various states. And what's important to also note is that you must have a DEA license per location. So if you're collaborating physician or you get a DEA license for, say, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our case where my clinics are, then I have another one in Brookfield, Wisconsin. I need a DEA for each location. It's not just that the supervising physician has a DEA, it's for each specific location. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about location. It really is really important. Really, really important. So where will you see your patients? Will you lease, buy, rent out space, or rent out space from an existing business? So necessary requirements for a physical location are going to be easy access. People like to just walk in off the street rather than going into a building and going to the second floor, third floor, things like that. So easy access, parking availability is super important. Street visibility is very important. Getting to know who your competitors are. Where are they? Are they close to you? Are they far from you? So when you're thinking about your location that you're finalizing, start to look around and see who you're competing with. Also looking at demographics, is the area on the wealthier side, or is it lower income? Is it kind of middle class? What type of clientele is that area drawing? So most people kind of have a good idea in their specific area. So these are just to think about as you're choosing your location. The size layout depends greatly on your business model. That is more for say like the add-on model. But if you're building out a brick and mortar, Weighless MD, we give you very specific guidelines as far as square footage, rooms that are necessary, and things like that. The basic layout necessities for a clinic is obviously exam rooms. A restroom for patient and staff is ideal. So separate ones for patients and staff, but I know that's not always possible. You want a kitchen or a break area. You definitely need a storage area, some type of closet. You need a locked medicine cabinet and a locked closet per se if you're going to be keeping your if you're going to be using phentermine and dispensing on site. So it's controlled, so it has to be in a locked cabinet or closet, I should say. You want consult area rooms. So these are, just regular size rooms that allows you and your staff to meet with patients. And then just the office area space for your admin so they can conduct all of the necessary administrative things that are essential. So just a note about hybrid services, virtual or on-site. So we absolutely offer both. And so that's why, even my business in Wisconsin can work with patients all over to a degree. There are certain things that we're not able to do with people outside of the area. So we tend to work most with people outside of our local area. And because for our on-site clinics, they're coming in every week. So what we offer to patients that live farther is that we will do virtual follow-ups or virtual appointments. We also have all of our programs that are automated and 100% online as well. So you will obviously learn about that. But, this is really important. This is something that we became hyper diligent about when COVID hit, because just like the majority of people out there, our business was shut down. And then when it reopened, it was so unstable for so long. Employees couldn't come in. They were just exposed. It just became this snowball effect, and it became extremely stressful on the business. So that is again why I decided to kind of look at things differently. And should something like that ever happen again, we are fully equipped to handle people not even being on site at the clinics. So again, adapting to any situation such as shutdowns, weather, illness, really simplifying the workload and still allowing us to broaden our reach. Some payment essentials. So you're first going to want to set up a business account, and you can accept most people will accept cash, um, credit cards. I have insurance. I'm not really sure why I put insurance down there. We do, again, I want to make sure people understand, because I still hear people saying, oh yeah, no, we don't accept insurance. So just because we don't accept it doesn't mean that they can't get reimbursed. It's just that we're not working directly with the insurance company. So again, you can work with insurance, but you're just not handling all of that. You're going to want to set up your payment system. If you do not have any business in mind, you're going, as you start to come closer to your business being ready to, operate, you're going to get many people reaching out to you. So we'll also make recommendations as far as payment systems, and obviously let you know who we use. But of course, now there's so many different ways to pay. There's the payment apps. And for payment plans, you do have different options. We do not use Care Credit, but you can absolutely sign up for that. We don't really get a lot of requests for it, but occasionally we do. There's also a PayPal credit that you can utilize. It's 6 months of free financing for people. So it's going to really be up to you as far as what you want to offer, what you want to offer your patients. And then you will need to hire an accountant. So how will you differentiate yourself? It starts right away. People are going to start asking, oh, what's going up? What are you guys opening? Oh, weight loss and wellness. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. What do you guys do? So being prepared and ready to talk the talk is crucial. It's just absolutely crucial. But some of the other ways that you're going to differentiate yourself is that we have a proven model. We've been around for 8 years. And so we know this model works. We have so much out there, so much information out there. When people go to Google Weighless MD, so much is going to come out. Also looking into pricing, you want to make sure that you're pricing yourself competitively. And that really is going to entail looking deeper into your competitors. Again, talking about the experience, because some franchise owners might not have any experience at all in weight loss or healthcare, but it's about telling the story and who you're partnering with. We take a unique approach I mean, we just absolutely do. We're going to talk about this and run this into the ground every single day as you get started. But so you can feel comfortable that, as you get rolling, you're going to notice that people are going to start wanting to know what you're doing over there. People are looking for a more natural, holistic. They want the coaching. They want to know how to eat. So you will see more people come filtering through to you versus the other kind of medical weight loss clinics. And again, we're weight loss experts. We are innovators. We are constantly researching and thinking and developing different ways of doing things. So that is what you will get from partnering with us. Some key infrastructure to think about. So as far as a website goes, you will not need to develop your own website. We will be putting together a location page for your franchise on our website. Some essentials in the front office, obviously phone, fax, copier, developing an email system, an EHR, very important, for new people that are developing the brick and mortar. We are going to recommend that they use who we use, which is Practice Better. If you are an existing business and are using an EHR, we can absolutely talk about that because it's possible to use other ones. We really love ours, and we feel that we can collaborate a lot easier with our partners out there. And then just thinking about the different forms, handouts, consents, educational resources that you will need when, to get up and running. And you will be supported through this process, and we're going to make sure that you're printing certain materials. Some materials, are going to be integrated in like our app, which again, we're going to talk more about as you go through this process. We try to keep this as paperless as much as possible, but we also absolutely have, hard copies on hand. So all of this is going to be available to you. The EHR, so our electronic health record is Practice Better. And if you are one that might be looking for other options, you have to really think through this because this is probably one of the hardest, things that I've learned over the years. But you want an electronic health record that's going to allow you to collect and manage all information, obviously regarding your patients. You should be able to collect payments with credit cards, HSA, etc. You'll need to integrate with Stripe or other integrated payment processing systems as you start to offer different online programs and things like that. In your electronic health record, you must be able to create super bills, which is the documentation that's necessary for patients that want to work with their insurance to get coverage. And again, a good EHR will keep your practice 80% paperless. You want a very seamless scheduling function. You want your EHR to be obviously HIPAA compliant. And again, Weighless MD uses Practice Better. So you can maybe start to look into that a little bit more if you're looking at different systems. So our Weighless MD's turnkey protocols, as I mentioned, we started to create these protocols for the following reasons. We really wanted to improve our weight loss outcomes and consistency. And we knew that our programs worked. It was more about the execution. If we executed appropriately, we were going to get reproducible results. We wanted to improve efficiencies in the clinic. We wanted to improve training for practitioners, and all of our protocols for all of our programs, we provide a breakdown of each visit and outline what is to be done at each visit. So it's really nice to reference, especially for new people. And again, we're really driven to ensure consistency of messaging and education to patients nationwide. This is going to be very, very important. So you will hear things kind of repeated over and over again because It is what is going to keep, our business differentiating itself in this market, because we get incredible results, but a lot of it has to do with the execution. Some essential forms and waivers that you will also be receiving are consents for all of our programs and services, our medical and nutrition intake form, symptom assessment forms. You will receive our cancellation, no-show. We'll talk about all of these different forms as we go through the process. And then there's going to be other things about, managing your employees and things along those lines. Ongoing expenses, utilities, obviously, rent, different software. We don't have a lot of different technology that requires significant monthly expenses by any means, but there are going to be like your electronic health record, our app. Off the top of my head, those are the two main ones that I can think of. But of course, your phone, marketing, you're expected to do some marketing on your own, absolutely. And then you'll have, your payroll expenses and supplies. So as you start to think about marketing, I have learned so much. I knew nothing about marketing, and it still is an area that I wish I never had to do it again. I don't enjoy it. It's something that really requires a lot of my time. So we're hoping to really make this easier on you. But what's important is again, consistent messaging, making sure that Weighless MD, whether you're in, Florida, Wisconsin, Missouri, wherever you are, we're saying the same thing, because this is what's going to create, that explosion, in the marketplace. You will benefit from our optimized website. So we have an incredible website. We have somebody that works on it nonstop to optimize it. So you will have that benefit. We'll talk about different ways that you can create lead magnets, nurture campaigns, a way to keep track of all of your, referrals and leads. And I think what's really important, and this is so funny because this is not who I was, and I still struggle with this, but don't aim for perfection prior to opening your doors, because it's never going to be perfect. Even when you open your doors, you're always going to be learning. So you are so far ahead of where I was when I opened, because I literally had zero. I had nothing other than a blank sheet of paper and this business model that I thought I could bring to fruition. So again, we're going to do this together. So don't worry about, again, everything being perfect. Word of mouth is crucial. So if you have presence in your community, if you're part of any groups, if you know people that are higher up in businesses, think about collaborating, because listen, weight loss is a word that is going to alert, it's going to wake people up. They get excited every time, because every single person, the majority of people, are looking to get healthier or lose weight. And another thing that we will roll out is this partnership with social media. So we don't require you to allow us to take that on. We want to work with you, partner with you. So again, that will be something that we talk about as we go through the process. So that wraps it up. I hope that was helpful. Again, this is a process. We are really still trying to figure out the best way to onboard our new franchisees. So please feel free to offer any suggestions as you go through this process. But even as we go through it, and when somebody asks for something, we're kind of writing it down and we're tweaking things as we go. So again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.